Hey everybody, welcome to this channel. So I wanted to do a quick introduction of what this channel is going to be. Um, I'll start off. My name's Jose. I consider myself a Mustang enthusiast. I've owned a lot of Mustangs in my time. Um, I've had, any 66, 69 Mustang Mach 1, a bunch of Fox bodies every year, 87 to 93. Had a 95 with a 351 built motor, 2011, and now a 2015. And I kind of wanted to have this channel to where I talk about Mustangs, work on mine, and kind of follow the process to see how each one started and then how it ended, and kind of I guess track the progress of it. But just a quick introduction. Like I said, I've had a lot of Mustangs growing up. I was always involved in cars. I've always been a Ford person, and I think the Fox bodies were the biggest ones where we would kind of restore. Of course, back then, I'd say it was probably what, 96, 95, 94, somewhere around there. I would buy these Mustangs and kind of fix them up, and I would flip them. So I would fix them up real quick, sell them, take that money, buy more Mustangs, fix them up, and then sell them. And I kind of did that for a few years. And I would build a few, keep some, then sell them. And that was kind of where I was. I love Mustangs, and they were real popular where I grew up in Texas and in South Texas, close to the Houston area. So these things were always being bought and sold by people. Racing was kind of a big thing back then, and I mean it still is. But in those areas where you're pretty far from a racetrack, you'd go to these back roads where there was never really any traffic. And it's funny because it was this road called Mexico, and people would go race. They would say they were racing in Mexico. And of course we knew because that was a road named Mexico, and you would go out there and you would race every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday sometimes. But yeah, I did that. And and then probably sold the cars once I had my son, which I was 21. It was pretty early, pretty young. And so I got rid of that because I wanted to make sure that I focused on, uh, all my money on, raising a family and things like that. So, if you own any car that you're fixing up, you understand that a lot of your money always goes into it because you're always trying to improve it, make it look better, make it faster. So I sold that. Then a few years later, I bought a 2011 in 2011. And then shortly after, I found out that we were going to have my daughter. So sold that to get a four-door vehicle. And then I kind of got out of Mustangs. I kind of got out of the fast car scene because once you have kids, it's, you have to have four doors. You have to have something that is safe for them. And that's kind of what I did. I kind of got out of it, didn't mess with cars, didn't have any fast cars, just had safe four-door cars. And then in 2020, I came across a 95 that it was owned by an old Vietnam vet, and he had put a bunch of money in. I mean, the paint, everything was just amazing. I'll try to insert some pictures so you can take a look at what this car looked like. But it had 351. It was fully built. It was really, really a great car. And it was just, so I'm about 6'1", and it just felt really small in there. And I guess I hadn't been in one of the Mustangs in a while, and it just felt really small when I would go get in there, and I just felt cramped. And somebody asked me if I was going to sell it, and the right price came along, and I sold it. And right after that, I wanted to get I was always looking for one of the Cobras that you buy um, as a kit car. And so, because they're really hard to find, and if you know what I'm talking about, the old Shelby Cobras that from the 60s, the 65, and it's like the little small car, kind of looks like the old Corvettes, and they're hard to find up here in North Texas because everyone is usually selling them, in my opinion, for too much. They're asking way too much for them, and you can find these. There's a lot of companies that sell these kit cars for 20,000. You get the whole shell, the suspension, rolling chassis with a 427. So the only thing you really have to do is pretty much paint it, and of course you have to pay shipping and things like that. So it's kind of weird that they charge that much for this car. Who knows what suspension they're putting in or what they're doing, or but anyway, it's they're too expensive. And the original ones, I mean, you're not gonna be able to find that. You know, even if I did, probably couldn't afford it anyway. But that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna buy a kit car and kind of just work on it and build it and kind of make it my own. And I went to a Ford dealership, so I was looking to sell my car, and I saw this 2015 GT, this one that I have now, and it had 23,000 miles. It was pretty cheap, and so I was like, you know, what's the catch? Obviously, maybe they ragged this thing out. They put all kinds of performance parts, but everything was like stock. I looked underneath. It didn't look. It looked like this thing was brand new, and I don't know if they just cleaned it up really well or what, but there was no modifications. The interior is like brand new. Uh, Everything in the engine bay is brand new. No wrecks, one owner, and it was an older couple that had it, and they just kind of just left it in the garage. So uh, I saw that and I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and buy this. And kind of what my plans are for this is I want to keep it as original as possible. I've always liked keeping Mustangs kind of original because when I had the Fox bodies, I mean, we would just modify everything about it. So this one I want to keep as stock as possible. I do want to add some kind of power adder, maybe a Whipple, or there's a twin turbo kit that I kind of want to put on here, but I want to preserve the look and the originality of the car. So I'm not sure I'm going to do, if I'm going to do anything to this one. I want to keep it under 30,000 miles and just keep it in the garage because it's such a clean car. I'm telling you, it looks like brand new, and I'll show you some pictures of it. But my plan is to buy a few other Mustangs and just really build them up. So there's a few that I'll probably end up picking up. There's a 99 that I want to do a Coyote swap into, and then I also want to pick up maybe a Fox body coupe and put a big block in there. So I know these channels tend to be a little bit harder to consistently post because, I mean, you're not constantly buying parts and putting them in and doing that. So I at least want to post once a week, whether it's, you know, just driving and talking and going to car meets and things like that. But the other times when I do want to, you know, whatever parts I buy for these cars or next cars, I do kind of want to document it and show you, you know, maybe how to install certain things and what I'm doing and just kind of the progress. So, you know, I really appreciate you watching this video. And if you don't mind, go ahead and subscribe and hit the like button, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.